Welcome back to the show. Today I have the co-owner of CFP. And if you don't know what that is, come on, man. It's Castle Fun Park. Brian Weeb is the co-owner. It's a family-run business. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So your dad started CFP, but before that...
My dad has quite a wild story. So he was a child of war. So he actually was born in Ukraine. And then during World War II, he spent a lot of years fleeing with his family. When he was 11 years old, he made his way over to Canada. His uncle had sponsored the whole family to come over. Worked odd jobs, dropped out of high school, somehow got into carpentry, which led him up north to build a motel with my mom. And that's where us kids were born, many of us. Fort Nelson.
Okay.
So there's like a little hotel along there, along the highway.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, they had sold the hotel and tried to figure out, oh, what am I going to do next? We happened to be on vacation going down to California where mini golf is just taking off. Saw like on the side of the road and started looking at like some of the small miniature buildings over there and just like, you know what, I could build that. And so came back and we moved to Kelowna. And he started building these like little miniature houses in our backyard, which us kids would play with. Like neighbors absolutely probably thought we were nuts at the time. And then they got a hold of property in Kelowna, and that's when they started the first park, the first iteration of what is now Castle Fun Park, Scania Golf and Games in Kelowna.
Scania Golf and Games. Do you know how many video games I played there and how much I used the batting cage?
Probably a lot. That was the hot spot, like on the outskirts of town, but then the town sort of grew into it and it became a real popular destination.
Yeah. Oh man, that's amazing. So how long did they run that for?
They ran that probably for 7 years, 7, 8 years, something like that, like in the early 80s until I want to say like 87, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they decided like, hey, we want to do this again, but do it like completely on our own without partners, which is mostly friends and family at the time. And then at the time, Mayor Ferguson in Abbotsford had come out and said like, we need one of these like out here and we'll do whatever we can. We'll open all the zoning to you to do whatever you want. And then similarly, we found a property on the outskirts of town, which is not Abbotsford now. Now it's kind of grown right into it. But there was nothing there, just like big reeds and creek running through there.
It's a whole village in amongst you guys, around you guys.
So the road behind everything came in later. So yeah, that was in the late 80s, so 89 or 90, I think they opened. And then they were met by a flood, I think 9 months after opening. So you see pictures back then, it's as bad, maybe even worse than the 2021 flood.
No,
yeah,
really?
Completely covered, yeah, if you look back on that. So the next 25 years were event-free, mostly.
Yeah.
Expanded, built out the go-kart track and some other features. And then, and then in recent years, we had a little bit more struggle with some of the other things that have happened.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But first, the business transition from your dad to you and your sisters after he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what were you doing before that?
So I was completely out of the family business. So my sisters had been a little bit closer to it, but I went down to the States. I was working in tech for about 20 years. So it was only in 2022 where I started kind of coming back and thinking, what am I going to do next after I'm out of that world? And it seemed like the right opportunity to kind of join the family. And, my dad was kind of having some health issues and my mom was not getting younger. And, it was the time to kind of step in if there was going to be that opportunity. And so stepped in and sort of brought a bit of that business and tech knowledge to bear there and working with my family now. And now we're on a mad race to get this thing into CFP 2.0. So that's coming.
And the rotunda where famously the batting cages were, and I didn't tell you this before we went on camera, but I used to go in there because I lived in the valley during COVID and I would drive to Vancouver to work every day. And on my way home, I would keep a wooden baseball bat in my trunk and I would walk into CFP with this wooden baseball bat on my shoulder and just walk through, hit the batting cage, and then go home.
That's great. We only had the hollow of the lame, aluminum bat. So you got to bring
exactly. I figured at first, I was like, am I sneaking this thing in? Is this legal? And then nobody said anything. So,
as long as you're wearing a helmet, you're all good.
Oh, I wore a helmet, obviously, yep. So what's happening with the rotunda? And you're doing so many renovations there now, not just because of the flood, but just because you're expanding.
It was an opportunity to relook at things. So once the flood hit, and that rotunda has been closed now since the 2021 flood, which has been for all sorts of reasons and issues that I won't get into here. But the rotunda is now being reimagined for something that could house many attractions. So I was going to leave it at that. So probably like think 10 different attractions in there. And I'm going to be going online and getting some of the public input on what customers want to see in there.
It's not going to be a batting cage.
It
though.
will not be
100%?
batting cage the same way that we thought of it before. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it could be a batting cage?
Well, no. I mean, I'll just say it is not. It is being renovated. It's a massive space. And
I only care about baseball.
Yeah.
Well, baseball and fun.
The ROI on a building like that to put in batting nowadays doesn't really make sense. So,
No kidding.
But it'll be something very exciting that I think a lot of people will love.
What's your favorite part of the park that you use? Not as an employee, not as an owner. Like, do you use anything? Do you play pinball? Do you do go-karts?
I like pinball. I like a bit of all of it. It's usually when friends or family come out that you kind of get in there. And then now with my younger kids, so it's kind of what I follow them around. But like doing the go-karts is obviously super fun. We had my son's soccer team there the other day, and that was a blast. So.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but it is so many things to do.
Cool. Okay, so now after the second flood, you were closed for a while again, and you have a promotion. I'm going to let you get promotional here. What can people do?
Yeah, so we have a spring promo going right now. I don't know when this is going to air, so we may be past that time, but that's through spring break. Yeah. There'll be a lot more coming. So if you do sign up for the the newsletter on the website or scan it when you're at the park, the posters around there, then we'll be sending you little special VIP promotions and things like that.
Cool.
Leading up to when the hopefully grand opening is going to be. That'll be in late fall, early December. So
it's open now, though.
It is open now,
But
yes, exactly. But that whole expanded area. So we're probably at
got it.
60% capacity right now. We're going to reopen that extra 40. If all of this goes well, then we'll keep doing more stuff. So it'll get better and better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you.
Head to CFP, have some fun. Nina is out on the street talking to people when we get back.